Hello, everyone, and welcome to Women's Studies 2300. I'm your instructor, Daniel Santana, and I would like to briefly go over just this short Slack tutorial. And I understand many of you are not familiar with Slack or may not be if you haven't used it before. So just to kind of start off, let me just kind of breeze through some of these different hashtag headings that we have here. So the first is, of course, it's self-explanatory, right? It's announcements that I'll be making about the course. So if you scroll down, you'll see just kind of some of the different things I have posted, just general announcements related to the class. And then in most cases, I'll also try to send out mass emails to the UTIP email that you have registered for under the class. Okay. And of course, here we have the different discussion board questions here. And just keep in mind that some of these discussion board questions, they'll have more than one option. So you can either answer the first question or the second question, whichever option you feel most, or whatever you feel most interested in writing about, right? So that's why I kind of give you guys those different options, right? So we could kind of see a wide variety of responses. Just keep in mind, so one of the things I would encourage you to do when you are writing a response is consider first writing your response in a separate Microsoft Word document, and then what I would do is copy and paste it here. The reason being is, of course, you wouldn't have those editing options. You wouldn't be able to tell if you misspelled something or had a typo if you just wrote it on here, unless you're using a Grammarly like I am, for example. And another thing to keep in mind is if, let's say if you're writing something that you wanted to add a second paragraph to kind of emphasize something that you said, don't just push enter, because if you push enter, it'll automatically mark what you have written down. It'll automatically post it. So if you wanted to kind of add a break in between a paragraph, right? So let's say this is paragraph 1, and you wanted to write the second paragraph, you would hold shift and enter in order to make a space, right? So for example, shift enter, you'll be able to do that, and you'll be able to write a second paragraph, right, to divide it. So this would be paragraph 2, okay? So for example, okay. Another thing, let's see, these other options here, you also have this @ symbol. This is so you could mention somebody. I would encourage you to use this only if you're doing a response, right? Because again, for each discussion board, I'm asking you to write two responses to two of your classmates' posts. So that's where I would encourage you to use the @ symbol. Another thing I would encourage you to do is, if try to respond to a different person's post each time you're writing your replies, just because if you're constantly replying back to the same person, right, there's not as much engagement from other students in the classroom. Okay. And here's also emojis again. I don't encourage you to use emojis when you're writing your actual response to the question, but I would encourage. I would allow it if you're writing a response, right? But again, let's think back to netiquette. So don't use an emoji if you're using it in a way that conveys something. Let's say if you're trying to be condescending, or if you're trying to put somebody down in terms of something that they wrote. So again. Let's keep it professional, okay? So I guess the point here is that the @ symbol and the emojis, those are options I would encourage you only to use if you're doing replies to discussion boards. Okay, and here we have some of these other discussion board posts. I haven't added the questions yet, but I will in the coming weeks. Here we have extra credit options. And again, I guess just self-explanatory, right? The point of this channel, right, is where I'll post extra credit opportunities. Let's see here. Paper 2 proposals. This is just this has to do with the second week. That is the assignment, the paper assignment for the second week of class. It will be available on Blackboard, and basically what the deal with that assignment is that I'm allowing you to choose whichever topic, and I actually wrote down a list of topics, but one of the things I said on the instructions for that paper is if there's a topic that's not covered within that list of proposals, you can propose something here, and I can see if it's whether or not I approve of the assignment of your proposed topic or not. Okay. And next, of course, is questions about course. So these are just more questions that everyone in the class can kind of see that you have asked. The reason why I encourage this thread here is to kind of, so, you know, if you're asking a question that someone else in the class might have, you know, it would be useful to post that, you know, just so they can see my response. But if you're not comfortable with using that option, of course, you can always send me a direct message. So if you look down under here, so again, it's like kind of like the same idea, like as in a social media account type of deal, right? So like you could automatically select me and send me a direct message. And of course, there's also the option so you could send a direct message to some of your classmates. Again, if you do so, whether it's to ask a question or to collaborate on something. Again, keep it professional, and if any of you feel you're experiencing any issues where you feel someone's harassing you or something along those lines, or you're getting messages that are unsolicited from another class member, please bring that to my attention, and I will make sure to take care of it. Okay. Lastly, we have on this last thread is the random hashtag, right? The random thread. Here, I would encourage you all to post any events, you know, that are happening on campus or even within the El Paso community that are related to the content in this class, right? So whether they're talks, you know, events, or even demonstrations, right? For example, that you think might be of benefit or that directly relates to some of the things that we cover in this course. So, you know, if there's a talk on women's rights, LGBT issues, issues pertaining to transgender rights, I would encourage you to post it here, you know, to encourage your classmates to attend. And if I see that the event has to do with something that is covered with the content in the class, I'll go ahead and I might go ahead and add it as an extra credit option, right? So if you add, you know, some of those events on here, I might potentially put it on here as an extra credit option. Okay, and just last and not least, if you look at the top here, way at the top where it has the name of the class and your name, you can I would encourage you to play with that, because some of you might have the Slack application on your phone, and I'm not sure what the default settings are for the notifications, but you might be getting overwhelmed with the amount of notifications, because again, this is a 40 students in this class. So you can edit those settings. I encourage you to play with them, especially if you have the notifications enabled on your phone or on your desktop. Okay. And then, you know, if you click on your name, you can also edit, personalize your profile and all that stuff. You don't have to add a picture. I just added mine just because I felt students might need a face for the instructor of the course. Okay, so that's pretty much all I wanted to really say about navigating Slack. If you have any other questions or concerns, as always, send me a message. You can send me a direct message or message me through email. Thank you.